Well, Oklahoma wheat growers are betting big on this year's wheat harvest. A combination of 3 consecutive poor years combined with record prices and record costs this year has growers of our state's #1 crop hoping the 2008 harvest can end a streak of bad luck. IRS Joel traveled the state as the first combines began to roll and found a crop that's more than just a commodity. It's the economic bedrock of many Oklahoma communities.
If the traffic in rural Oklahoma seems a little heavier than normal lately, that's because, well, it is.
It's good. It's real good. It's good. Pretty wheat, clean wheat.
Every year about this time, those familiar green and yellow monsters awaken from their slumber and chomp away at millions of acres of ripe Oklahoma wheat just waiting to be harvested. Meanwhile, the Peatone elevator is preparing for an onslaught of tractor trailers, each filled to the brim with bushels of wheat just waiting to fill its silos.
We're supposed to get out on anywhere from 75 to 100 trucks to load out today. We're full in 2 bins already, almost 3.
It's wheat harvest season here in Oklahoma, and while the sight of combines and tractors may be nothing new to our state, special attention is being paid to this year's wheat crop.
This year, we'll get a few people a chance to get out of the hole a little bit, but they're going to be right back in it next year.
You might say that this year's crop represents an eye in the storm for Oklahoma's wheat growers, a relative calm surrounded by an uncertain future. After 3 years of lackluster production, elevators across the state are seeing bumper crops unloading into their silos. At a Peatone, they're working hard to accommodate all the grain they're getting in.
We're dumping the trucks in the pit, and then we're loading them out as fast as they're coming in.
At Cassidy Grain in Frederick, Brent Cassidy is finding it hard to keep pace with all the orders he's received.
Export the grain out of the county through shipping methods are almost nil. We rely on one railroad that has dependable service, and the other railroad has almost none.
But while the outlook at Oklahoma's elevators may be sunny, custom harvester Dan Scheiber sees a dark cloud looming on the horizon.
Next crop is going to separate the men from the boys in agriculture.
Dan and his crew are in a Peatone today to harvest David Gamel's wheat crop, who, like his harvest crew, knows that his proverbial belt may have to be tightened a few notches next year.
Fertilizer's going to be at least double, maybe triple.
We're already seeing $875 a ton for anhydrous ammonia.
And of course, we all see what fuel has done.
Fuel prices are changing hourly, nearly.
Our chemical costs, we already see that they have tripled from last year.
And even though the value of wheat has also increased over the past few years, Scheiber and his crew won't see any increased revenue this year simply because most of what his crew is harvesting today has already been contracted out in the futures market at half of today's prices.
The local elevator here where we're harvesting wheat has already contracted or bought a third of this crop that is still being delivered to the elevator. So, you know, and most of that wheat was contracted last year at pretty good prices after harvest last year for this year, and most of that is in the $5 to $6 range.
With most of his wheat selling at a relatively mediocre price, Dan and his crew have to make every penny count.
We really can't afford to have downtime.
But thanks to a faulty drive belt, downtime is exactly what Scheiber's crew is finding this afternoon. So tell me what you're doing one more time.
Replacing this draw chopper drive belt.
And how much was it?
It was $152.
And that was after an hour-long journey to Wichita Falls.
Now it'll chop.
And back to work they go, at least for a little while.
We probably ought to run a sample of this up to the elevator and see it's going to be about 14 or so.
Man, that didn't take long.
What?
It wasn't shut down. Now we're going to wait and run a moisture check on the grain to see whether it's dry enough to be harvesting.
Which means yet another trip to the elevator for harvester Johnny Planer.
What does that mean?
I'll have to wait another hour or two.
Daylight's burning, huh?
Daylight's burning.
The high cost of doing business is putting a strain on Oklahoma's wheat growers, and as El Dorado's Barney Trammell points out, this is putting a strain on Oklahoma's rural communities.
So you have to have your local co-ops to handle the business.
But over his many years of managing elevators, Barney has noticed a disturbing trend in the harvesting business.
In '92, I started managing, and at that time, we probably were in an area of, I'd say our area was probably 20 miles. Today, my area is probably a 100-mile radius. I have sat here and watched in the last, I guess in the last 16 years, we've probably had as many as 12 co-ops in this area go under. Do they take their wheat from El Dorado, Oklahoma, all the way to Fort Worth or Wichita Falls? I mean, they'd be in the fields forever.
While Dan and his crew may not be in the fields forever today, they are hopeful that this year's harvest will make enough to offset the losses of years past and let them keep on doing what they love.
Oh, it's a rough way to make a living sometimes. I don't think I'd do anything else.
I'm getting to do what I like to do, and as long as I can make a living doing that, power to everybody else.